We've finally reached the golden age where size doesn't matter. Unfortunately, it only concerned PC cases and nothing else, so I hope I didn't get your hopes high. Small form factor PCs enthusiasts are getting really spoiled by the amount of cases that are currently on the market and offer great cooling and accessible building experience. However, one downfall so far has been the price of such cases. The best of them cost often more than $200, which is a very steep price for many. But this has changed thanks to Master and their NR200 family of cases, which promise big features and small size. Today we're going to check whether the case lives up to the promises and what exactly a case that costs roughly $80 will give you. Hello everyone, I'm Lazerk and welcome to the channel. Before we start the review, I just wanted to say that I am an SFF noob and this was my first SFF case I had the chance to build in. So this review will be from a fresh perspective of someone new to the subject. I don't want to elaborate on the sense or point of SFF cases. I'm sure you're aware of the trend, and if not, then you probably can look things up on YouTube. Apologies for all the people new to the topic, but I don't want to make this video 30 minutes long. If you want to dig more before watching the video, there's a link to a pretty helpful article on TechSpot that will allow you to catch up quickly. Now let's move on to the hero of today's review, which is Master NR200. The case comes in two versions, NR200P and a version without the P letter. The former comes with two 120mm sickle flow fans, riser cable and a see-through tempered glass panel, which is great if you want to show off your build to the world. The latter has high airflow mesh side panel instead of the glass one, has no riser cable, and instead of two 120mm fans, it has one 120mm and one 92mm. If you decide to give up the tempered glass side panel, you can install AIO water cooling with a maximum size of 280mm. If you prefer air cooling, the system supports cooling towers of up to 150mm in height. Remember this number when choosing your cooler, as picking one that's too tall will prevent the side panel from closing. You might get away with a slightly bigger one, say 156 or 157, but then you need to take out the side bracket. Overall, you can install up to two fans on the top, one at the back, two at the bottom and two at the side, which means that if you populate all slots with fans, you will get 7 fans. Pretty impressive for a case that small, but that's not all. The case allows you to install a custom cooling system and you have two locations for the pump, front and bottom. My build, featuring RTX 3080 and Ryzen 3600 with the two included fans, during stress testing reached about 70-72 degrees Celsius on the GPU and maximum of 76 degrees on the CPU. Those are great results and only slightly higher than what you get on a high airflow case like the 500DX, for example. Installing more fans should lower temps even further, plus you can use the water cooling to improve it even more and also reduce the noise. The build quality of the case is exceptional. The case is made of powder coated steel and it looks like it take a beating. All the elements fit perfectly with almost zero bending. Apart from steel, some elements are made of high quality plastic and mesh for that exceptional airflow. The case weighs around 4.6 kilograms, has 376mm in length, 185 in width and 292mm in height. It supports SFX and SFXL power supplies and mini DTX and mini ITX motherboards with a maximum size of 244 by 226mm. In order to achieve that, you will need to install the PSU bracket on the front. The maximum size of GPU you can put inside is 330mm by 60mm, which means that most 3080s should fit in there no problem. On the front you will find a standard set of I/O and buttons, power and reset, two USB Type A and a combo jack. RGB fans will be disappointed, however, as this case has no RGB strips, RGB lights and so on. What I really like about this case is that almost all elements can be taken apart without even needing a screwdriver. The side, top and front panels are held in place by a combination of fit in the case hinge and dual pegs that help hold the panels firmly in place. This makes the whole experience almost toolless, and the only moment you need to use a screwdriver is if you want to remove the side fan bracket. All it takes is just 2 screws and you have a bit more clearance for your CPU air cooler, or if you want to change the position of your PSU shroud from SFX to SFXL. The top coolers are also mounted using a pin system, very easy and quick to install. Thanks to all of that, the building experience is nothing short of amazing. If you have issues accessing some part of the build from one side, you can easily take the top out the other side and have more clearance for cable management, connecting various power pins, fan cables and so on. It also saves your life if at some point you decide to change something. This makes the case a great choice for anyone who is new to SFF PCs and is very easy to plan out your build and fix any mistakes you make along the way. At this point, I think it's also worth mentioning that NR200 is on the bigger end of SFF cases. It has roughly 18 liters of volume. I don't treat it as a disadvantage because more volume inside means that there's more air circulating inside of the case and there's more space to manage your cables so that they don't get in the way of your cooling or your GPU. It's about half to third of the size of a regular ATX tower. Another thing that requires mention is the customization option for this case. Cooler Master on their website has official links that allow you to download files to 3D print different legs if you don't like the original ones or want to have more separation between the bottom of the case and the floor or desk. And what's even more interesting is that you can 3D print an ATX power supply bracket that will allow you to use an ATX size power supply in an SFF case. Pretty amazing, especially if you already have a PC and want to use the available parts. Bear in mind that doing this will block one of the slots for the fan at the top. On top of all the features we just mentioned, there's also the price point at around $100, maybe even $80 or 100 euros if you're living in Europe. For the non-P version, it's really hard to beat. I mean, look at the feature set. You get high airflow case with great build quality, out-of-the-box support for custom water cooling, slots for 7 fans, 2 fans included in the box, and on top of that, you can personalize the case by printing your own feet or even an ATX power supply bracket. Quality of life features such as Toolless disassembly and removable dust filters with magnetic strips make the case one of the best choices out there, especially for someone who isn't looking for the most compact SFF experience. Cooler Master did a really good job with the NR200 and NR200P, packing feature-rich case in a small form factor, wrapping it all up in a very affordable when it comes to SFF cases price point, and it's hard not to recommend this case also for its exceptional looks. Slick, simple and superb. Alright, that sums up all of my thoughts about the case, but I would like to hear what you think about the NR200. So if you want to share your thoughts, do so in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I'm Lazerk, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you soon.